Mother Nature decided to bring us a little rain. And while the temperature is really lovely right now, the noise as the rain hits the metal roof of my porch, it's a little deafening. So I think I will go back inside and start to spin this lovely Angora rabbit fluff without the worry about getting wet. Welcome to another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric. I tried to come outside earlier today to do a little filming, but just about the moment I was ready to come outside, the skies opened up and we had quite the rain shower. Since it was a needed rain shower, I'm not complaining. It is a little humid now. I'm wishing there was a little bit of a breeze, but I thought I'd come out and finish up this Angora that I've been spinning today. I'm hoping that as I sit here, maybe the fireflies will start to emerge for the evening. But we'll have to wait and see. I currently have a bunch of citronella candles burning around me, hoping to keep the bugs away. But I'm just about done with this Angora. It's been another lovely, whoops. And there I go, losing the end. It's been a lovely spin. It's not the kind of fiber that I would have wanted to spin outside when it was raining, and truthfully, it's not the kind of fiber you want to spin if your hands are sweaty. I feel like, yes, something in the process of my wheel coming outside, I feel like something got adjusted. So, I just have a little bit of this Angora left to spin. And just before tonight, just as I was getting ready to bring my equipment out here on the porch, I looked out the sliding glass door and the 3 baby deer that we've been watching for a few weeks now were all out frolicking right over there. Earlier, well, I guess it was yesterday, I saw all 3 of them together again, and I was very relieved because I'd only seen 2 of them since we had a visitation by a fox last week. So I was very happy to see all 3 of them are doing well and romping and playing and growing quite big. So it's been another wonderful week of spinning for Fleece. I have been doing a lot of longer wools. I have done a little bit of CVM, and that's always a joy. But I've been spinning some Leicester long wool. I've been spinning some Wensleydale. Oh, I spun that yesterday, and I'll share a picture of, or there, I think over here. Share a picture of the Wensleydale. It looked really nice once it was scoured, but it still didn't have quite the same feel to it as some of the other Wensleydale I've had in the past. It was a fleece that I was kind of torn when I was purchasing it. But I'm really glad I did purchase it, because while it wasn't quite as silky smooth or as clean as other Wensleydale I have, the micro vegetable matter just all fell out in my lap as I spun, and the fiber has just spun up beautifully. So I know sometimes people get a little nervous about vegetable matter, and I've had a couple fleeces that I've wondered what I've been thinking as I've been working on it. And to tell you the honest truth, I'd rather deal with vegetable matter than sand. I've had 1 or 2 fleas that have been full of sand. But this This fleece, it had a little bit of vegetable matter. That I picked a lot of the bigger stuff out when I scoured it. The micro stuff fell out in my lap as I spun. It just means you should probably keep a cloth in your... There it goes again. It just means you need to keep a cloth in your lap or an apron and shake it out outside, because you definitely don't want that going on your floor. So it is a little more time consuming. It can be a little bit more of a mess, but a lovely fleece is a lovely fleece, and a little bit of vegetable matter isn't going to hurt anybody. So it's been a wonderful week of spinning. I've brought the stuff I've spun out here to maybe show and tell a little bit as soon as I get this Angora done. This specific Angora is from a wonderful rabbit that was named Freddie. He was our only true French Angora rabbit, and he was white with black spots. And he was a character. As I get to little areas that I don't want to be spun up little clumps, I remove them and set them aside. I try to keep a little bowl always nearby to put debris, to put neps in, to put clumps. If I run into any vegetable matter, I do that. On this wheel, I have a little bowl that's meant to be used for spinning flax into linen. It's to hold water, but I use it to hold reject fiber bits. It just hangs here on the wheel, and when I run into something that I need to take out, I can just set it into the bowl. It helps keep things a little bit tidier. So I probably will do I might do another video this weekend. I've been wanting to do a video showing you some of the other tools that I have, some of the other things that I keep on hand to make the process easier and do cleanup. But it just felt like it was time to come outside and spin again. Despite the fact that I can feel the sweat beading up on my lip, it is a little humid. I hear somebody over in the distance. Sounds like they're practicing baseball. And there we have the Angora that I've been working on today spun. So, one of the fibers, if you've been following my Instagram, I've been posting all of the fiber as I get it done. I've been posting it on Instagram. This was one of the CVM sections that I had, and it did not disappoint. This was one I was planning on from the beginning of applying it with itself. It spun so thinly that I actually did a 3-ply, still getting a fingering weight yarn. It is so beautiful and soft. I have a big light facing me so that you can actually see me. So the lighting is a little bit different from this. I'm sure I'm posting a picture on one of the sides, but this was one of my dearly favorite spins of the week. This was a fleece that I forgot that I had. It is, it's one of the CVM that is really segmented colors, not blending very well. So very, very white areas and very, sandy taupe. When I was spinning it, it made me think of when you see a cappuccino and they put the cream in it and then they swirl it and you get that area that's really white and then it gets darker as you go out. That's what this fiber was like when I was spinning it. It comes from a sheep that was called Mosaic, and it did not disappoint. So a couple of the other ones, one of the other ones that I did this week that I was thrilled with, and I think it's, let's see, put this basket down here. Put that basket there. There we go. This is the Jacob. And again, the lighting that I have, it makes it so that you can't see how dark. It has areas that are really dark brown, almost black. When I spun this one, as opposed to the, just in comparison, when I spun the Jacob, and I spun the Jacob, again, in this case, double checking, I believe this is a 2-ply. I spun this one on itself, back on itself. When I was spinning this, I made sure to keep sections of color together, and I spun some black and I spun some white. But because this one was plied in a 2-ply from a center pull ball, you get some lovely barber pole effect, which, you know, in itself is just a really pretty effect. And so I was pleased with that. And so when I got to Mosaic, what I did is the same kind of take the fiber, some dark fluff, some light fluff, spin it and keep randomly going back and forth. But because I did it a chain ply, it kept the color together, and instead of having the barber pole, it has striping. So 2 different ways of handling a multicolored fleece, and getting 2 different effects. So this is the Wensleydale I was talking about, and it's still in a single. And yes, it is just amazing. It wanted to spin nice and thin. But what's really interesting about this one, I wanted to compare it to the Leicester long wool that I spun last weekend. The staple length of the lock was different. The Leicester long wool was much longer than the Wensleydale. But it's hard to see the difference. But this is the Leicester long wool, and this is the Wensleydale. And the Leicester long wool, while I might have been able to spin it a tiny bit thinner, it is a coarser fiber, so it's not quite as lace thin. This is a little bit softer. I believe in both cases they may be lamb. They both have wonderful luster, and they both get a little fuzzy in the way that I was spinning them just from the lock. But side by side, it would be really hard to know which one was which unless you knew you were looking at 2 different animals. Slightly coarser, a little bit finer, both of them with wonderful luster, beautiful color, or beautiful white, creamy white. Both of them take dye fabulously. So another one that I did this week was some more CVM. And again, the light's showing you how nice and chocolatey it is. It reads darker in less light. The interesting thing about this one is I spun this one not long after having spun Mosaic. Mosaic spun thin. It was a delicate fiber. It wanted to go thin. It wanted to go smooth. It didn't fluff up, not even a whole lot after I washed it. It was just a more delicate, compact fiber. Still light and airy. But this, the minute this was fluff. This was like looking at a poodle when its hair is all teased. This, as soon as I started working with it, it became clear that it had to be carded. It was shorter locks, and the moment it was carded, it just went poof. And I would never have, setting this fiber next to the other CVM, I would have never guessed they were from the same breed of sheep. One was just so contained, and pretty and delicate, and one was just wild and fluffy and explosive. It just never fails to amaze me at how even within the same breed of sheep you can get such a variety of fiber. Not just a variety of color sometimes, but a variety of textures. And I am seeing some of the fireflies behind me. Yes, and I think they are getting caught on film. So, the other stuff that I've been spinning, I have done some more. I've got some CVM done. I've got another of the Angora. And I have no idea what I'm going to spin tomorrow. Part of me wants to do some more Wensleydale because it was just an enjoyable spin. Another part of me thinks that I need to tackle some more Angora because I really don't want to have to do Angora right at the very end of Tour de Fleece and have to ply a bunch of this stuff together. But tomorrow morning is another good opportunity for me to do a video, so I may set everything back up and do fin sheep. I have only done a tiny sample of fin in the past. I would like to do this 40-gram fin to see how it works. It has luster. It has a little bit more of a defined lock. So I may have to step outside tomorrow morning or Saturday morning because I'm recording this on Thursday night, the 8th of July. And so I may have to step out early in the morning and do another video just showing the fin. We will see. We will see how the weather is. We will see what the noise is. So let me tell you about the fireflies. When I was growing up, I had heard about fireflies, of course, but I had never seen a firefly until I was in my 40s. And I had an opportunity to go to a conference, and one of the evening get-togethers had us in an area in which there was a lot of water, a creek around, and it had been raining, and it was just magical. And there were fireflies everywhere. And I had never seen fireflies before. And it just captivated me. And then a few years later, I was on campus with my daughter when she was going to college, and there were fireflies. And it was so amazing to me because I had gone to school there myself decades before, but I don't ever remember fireflies. And so when we moved here and we discovered that we had so many fireflies, I just couldn't have been more happy. The first summer, I just step outside and watch, and because we have these trees going around 3 sides of the property, it's really nice, and it gets really dark. There's a wall of dark. And so the fireflies, you watch them just rising up, and they get up in the trees, and it's so magical. And so that's one of the reasons I wanted to come out tonight. And there is a firefly currently on my sliding glass door. The door that I watch through when I go in and spin. I'll share a picture of me earlier when I had to go inside instead of spin outside. But yeah, it's magical for me. And I can see them from the windows of my bedroom and my bathroom at night. And I can see them as I close up the blinds. I can see them as I close up the blinds for bed at night. And it's magical. And I have, you can see some lights hanging on the flower pole behind us. I like having the twinkling lights. I like having the LED out here. Eventually, I tell my husband, eventually I'd like to look out the window and just have twinkling lights all through the trees and the yard, just making it a magical retreat. It seems that as I get older, I am doing my very best to create a world around me that is reminiscent of the books that I read when I was a very little girl, the secret gardens and the magical retreats that I loved to read about and escape into when I was a child. And so that's one of the reasons I had to come out tonight and see if we could catch some fireflies. And there, right behind the camera, there is a firefly that's just taunting me. And so that's why I wanted to come out and do this last little bit of spin and wish you another wonderful week of Tour de Fleece and joy. And I hope that you will have time to unwind with fiber and fabric. Until we meet again, have a joyful, joyful day. And we'll see you soon.